As one of the main bike creators on the planet, Honda has been changing the bike business for quite a long time. As of late, the organization has been creating smooth, amazing, and incredibly quick bikes, yet not even the furthest down the line models can fix the imprint left by a portion of Honda's vintage makes. These vintage Hondas have been recognized as probably the most notable two-wheeled street aces that have at any point graced our streets. They set the establishment for a large portion of the bicycles we love today, and their interest keeps developing over the long haul. It is, then, at that point, just normal that we should require some investment and think back over these showstoppers. Since, as it's been said, saints get remembered, yet legends won't ever kick the bucket. Here is a glance at 5 vintage Honda bikes that we truly love. 1973 Honda Elsinore Montana 250. The Honda Elsinore Montana 250 is one of Honda's best motocross bikes ever. In spite of the fact that it isn't the main model of the Elsinore series, it is a superior adaptation of its predecessors, with magnificent execution both on and rough terrain, making it ideal for all-round use. The Honda Elsinore Montana 250 was delivered in 1973, and its exemplary plan is an incredible depiction of bygone times. Nonetheless, not at all like most vintage cruisers, it is lightweight for simple route in unpleasant territory, and is especially intended for brandishing. It includes a moderate 250cc motor with only one chamber. The motor siphons out a humble 28 strength and deals with a maximum velocity of 80 miles per hour, which isn't a lot in case you're a speed fiend yet sufficient when tearing through off the framework streets. The bicycle is by and large simple to keep up with, and its basic motor makes it somewhat practical. It is similarly as famous today as it was, thinking back to the 70s, so you ought not experience a lot of difficulty discovering one at a reasonable cost of around $900 to $1,000. 1985 Honda Rebel. The Honda Rebel is little and light, yet packs a ton of force and speed for a bike of its size. This make was delivered in 1985, and is considered extraordinary compared to other Honda vintage bicycles today. It is as yet a common sight out and about, and never appears to lose its flair because of its exemplary look and strong body and motor. The 1985 Honda Rebel weighs just 329 pounds, making it simple to explore even in harsh territory. It is powered by a 250cc V-twin motor with a yield of around 18 drive, which is moderate by all principles however compelling regardless. Its speed is comparably controlled, accomplishing a maximum velocity of 70 miles per hour. Be that as it may, if your center isn't force or speed, the Honda Revolutionary will be adequate for a large portion of your necessities and add an exemplary sensation to your riding meetings. Tragically, its little size makes the Honda Agitator unacceptable for tall riders or hefty riders. The market actually has a lot of unblemished leftovers of this exemplary make, and costs range somewhere in the range of $1,500 to $2,500. 1984 Honda Saber V65. As one of only a handful few Japanese bikes that were named Duty Busters, the Honda Saber V65 is perhaps the most pined for vintage bicycles of the 80s. It was delivered in 1984, and its creation kept going just 2 years, accordingly boosting its generally hefty interest. It has a conservative and exemplary appearance extraordinary to vintage bikes, and effectively stands apart from the rest. It is powered by a 4-chamber motor delivering a force yield of 76 strength and force of 10,500 revolutions per minute. The 699cc motor impels the bicycle to a maximum velocity of 121 miles per hour, enough to embarrass some respectable current bicycles in its classification. Today, the Honda Saber V65 is considered the best vintage professional bicycle for unpleasant territories. The problem is that it very well may be very expensive, as it was at first delivered as a restricted release cruiser. Costs change from as low as $900 to as high as $2,500, contingent upon the bicycle's condition. 1985 Honda GL 1200 Goldwing. The Honda GL 1200 Goldwing hangs out in pretty much every angle. Its plan alone discloses to everything. Including a brilliant tone and a prolonged body, the bicycle is quite possibly the most admired exemplary models ever. Under the manly body is an incredible motor that radiates amazing eruptions of vibration to make each riding meeting an exciting encounter. The 4-chamber, 4-phase motor has a force yield of 94 pull and accomplishes a maximum velocity of 118 miles per hour. The gas tank holds up to 22 liters of gas, making it ideal for significant distance rides. Combined with a proficient fluid cooling framework, the Honda GL 1200 Goldwing is a genuine street hero that has stood the trial of time since its beginning in 1985 to become perhaps the most mainstream Honda vintage bikes today. In spite of the fact that it isn't actually simple to drop by, you can in any case discover one in famous vintage bike barters. Luckily, its new parts are moderate and promptly accessible, making it somewhat simple to keep up with. Cost shift starting with one shop then onto the next, and relying upon the bicycle's condition, yet it can run any place somewhere in the range of $2,000 and $2,500. 1969 Honda CB 750. The Honda CB 750 isn't simply the best Honda vintage bicycle, however the best vintage bicycle ever. This bike was so great at the hour of its delivery that it was delegated the first ever superbike by bike aficionados. It is straightforward why the Honda CB 750 established such a connection when it was delivered in 1969. The bicycle stretched force and speed to the edge compared to different bicycles in those days, and it was sorted among the best game bicycles at that point. It includes a 4-chamber motor with a yield of 68 drive and maximum velocity of 125 miles per hour, an accomplishment that numerous brands would just want in those days. Combined with the manly and conservative look exemplary to vintage bicycles of now is the right time, the Honda CB 750 is everything a decent vintage cruiser ought to be. On account of its fame, it is not difficult to get one of these street monsters and keep it fit as a fiddle. The bicycle is as yet well known today, and, dissimilar to most other uncommon vintage bicycles, its new parts are reasonable and simple to stop by.